Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, and I'm here looking at the Waves REDD consoles. Modelled on two consoles, the Abbey Road REDD console, which I've had the pleasure of not only seeing but hearing in Studio 2 over at Abbey Road. It was in when I was there. And it's a vintage console, way back before most of us were born. But used on some top tracks, Beatles, Zeppelin, all sorts of stuff like that. And then there's another console which Lenny Kravitz now owns, and that's the one you can see on the screen at the moment, the 3751. And so there's two, there's a 17, I'm just going to bring that up as well. So this console, and it comes in mono or stereo, and then there's this console as well that comes in mono and stereo as well, and also gives you the opportunity to do mid-side processing as well, MS, so very nice indeed. So pretty self-explanatory in most cases, but we'll go with this one first, the kind of Abbey Road one, which gives us tone and high and low, and they are both shelving type EQs. And then we have bass lift, padded or lifted, on or off, and then a center position. So we can cut bass or we can increase bass, and then we have a gain into the channel there. And a channel switch. Then we have a drive. How much drives, so analog drives, we want to put into that channel. How much noise and hum, that's the analog setting we want coming through there as well. And then an output. And now, of course, it's good to match. Basically get your gain and your drive and your output matched, so that when you're using this, you're not falling into the trap of basically switching between it being loud and quiet and thinking that actually because it's louder it sounds better, and then some people have that view. So it's good that you can match those. You can basically level match, so basically push your gain and then push your output back down, so you've got your gain staging right. Now on this console as well, it's a little more detailed, and what you have is you could choose between the two modelled amplifiers, REDD 37 and the REDD 51 amplifiers, which were from different periods of the console's life. And then you have gain, the bass lift and the bass pad and the and central position, tone high and low, as you can see there, very nice. A switch between pop and classic settings, which will give you, as you can see, slightly different controls on there in terms of the way that the EQ works. So as I say, we have a shelving EQ there, cut and boost, and then you have a peak EQ there as well. You can see that happening. They get a little visual to tell you that. And then we have a monitor section for monitoring mono, stereo, and in MS as well. So you can do mid-side processing. And what it does is it does the mid-side processing internally, and then it converts it back to stereo before it leaves the plugin, which is nice. So if you go to the MS mode, then you can monitor mid-side or use that across two channels and do all sorts of cool stuff. You can run in duo mode as well, so both channels are working independently, or stereo, which in most cases is what people are going to work in, and then you have that lovely linked indicator across the channels there as well. And again, if we were using the stereo version of this, you'd have some similar stuff as well. So if we went to the Waves Audio REDD 17 there, you'd see that now working in a very similar way. But as I say, I'm using the Waves Audio REDD 37 on that. And so it comes with some really great presets as well, so we can load those in, we can go through, and they're great places to start. In both cases, you have a lot of presets you can go through and try. So I've got it on this track, and I've got it across the track, on most channels actually, which is a good thing to try, and you don't have to do that, but you could try. So I've got it on a kind of got guitars, bass, drums. So let's go through a few things first. Let's first show you the track with it in. And out. Let's go into detail and see what I'm doing there. So first we'll go to drums and we'll solo some drums up. Let's go to the kick here. So you can see there, doing quite a lot of pushing on the bass. What I like is the EQ is very analog, it really does work. So we can use this bass lift and we can pad it or push it, but I really want to get some thump in that kick drum. You can hear that happening there. again, we can go in here and we can just pull this back a bit on the output stage to match the bypass with the original. It's pretty close now, I think. You can hear the drive kicking in there, really pushing it hard. Pull it back a bit more again. Not too much analog, I don't want too much noise in that one. Just pull that back a little more, just to get us matched. You can hear some real body in that now. So let's go to the snares. Now really driving that snare, you can hear that. Tone's virtually flat out on this one. Pull the drive back a bit. And you can see now, as I drive it, the gain changes, so it's not saturating as much, but we get more gain through it, so we can just pull that back a bit. Push that back in, so we've just nice character in there now. And the second snare the same. Done a very similar thing there. Now let's hear the Kravitz desk over here on the overheads. Let's bring those up. So I've got two amp choices. They're subtle, but they do make a difference if you spend some time listening to them. There's the original. Just giving it a bit more open at the top end there. Let's do some work on that now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll off, put some more top end in. Just pull back the tone at the bottom end a bit. I'm going to drive it a bit more. I'm going to pull these back a second while I do that. Give it quite a lot of drive there. Get those matched up again now. Push the gain in a bit more on that. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Just to pull it up a bit more now to the match. There's the bypass version. There's the new one. Let's push that back up a bit more. Lovely character there now. Actually, I might just pull the bass back in a bit more. I'm loving the way that top end's really starting to pull up as well. Yeah, I like that. I like what I've done there. Let's go on the bass guitar now. Let's listen to that. That bottom end is lovely and deep and thick. Drive that a bit harder if I wanted to, get a bit more. Nice, that's nice. See that kit. Turn back out again. We'll pull that overhead down a bit. So here's the original track. And out again. And what it's doing straight away is it's just adding some real density to the track, and this is often the case with saturation plugins, which is really nice. And as I say, it's giving it some real character, and character is what's often lacking in a lot of recorded music these days. And that character is missing because digital is so accurate. And what analog did, it added harmonics, it added distortion, and some. I was talking to somebody the other day who was saying that those stuff that analog did, the distortion, the harmonics, all of that, our ears have got used to, and we actually prefer it to cleanness. And so that's why there's such a push back to this kind of stuff now. So it's really great that Waves are trying to model these red discs and get them as accurate as possible to give us that kind of vintage sound. So as I say, there we are. So let's go to a couple of guitars now. I've got... let's just bypass everything again. And I've got a couple of guitars here. What I've done there is I've rolled a lot of the bottom end off. But you can hear it really makes a difference. You drive a bit harder. You can hear that comping, that kind of natural compression happening as it drives it. And guitars really do love compression. That's in. See the second one? That's out. So I'm pulling some of the bottom end out. It's good to smooth it up like that. Hear the harmonics at the top end. Pull that back out again. You can hear the top end opening up there. Let's go to the vocal now. It's a bit further into the song. In fact, before we get to the vocal, we'll get to the electric piano. And actually, it's a virtual instrument, so it's interesting to add on a virtual instrument. It's lovely on that Rhodes. A bit more bottom end in there. The character there is really lovely.
And everyone cared, told to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare.
That lovely on that vocal.
Knew it might happen.
Let's lose that delay for a minute.
Fear.
Let's go into the song a bit more. Let's just find our way in. There's the vocal.
Told to keep their head down.
There's the original.
Not stop, chat or stare. They knew
Sorry,
it
that's the
might
bypass.
happen.
That's the real. That's the version with
It's
red on
what
it.
they all fear.
It's the original.
I thought no one noticed. I thought no one cared.
Lovely character in the top
They
end.
told me don't worry, don't pull out my hair. I know these things happen.
And of course, the tone is added in, so that's going to add some difference anyway. But
Told to keep their head down.
but it's lovely for vocals, lovely and
Not
sweet.
stop, chat or stare.
Let's hear the whole track now, with and without red.
Told to keep their head down. Not stop, chat or stare. They knew it might happen. It's what they all fear. I thought no one noticed.
Here comes Red.
I thought no one cared. They told me don't worry, don't pull out my hair. I know these things happen. The
And off
great
again.
unknown fear caused by a carpet shakedown.
And back in again.
Caused by a corporate shakedown.
Of course, there's no harm, of course, putting this across the master bus. So let's just do that now. And that is done. So I'm just going to put the whole mix through the 51 on the master bus here and just have a listen to it. So just going to back off the drive for a minute and keep it down. And there's no real presets for that, so they're not expecting you to do that. But as I say, there's no rules in music, so you can do what you like. So let's have a listen to it without it.
So to keep their head down, not stop.
You've got to be careful sometimes. One thing I've found is when you switch it on and off, sometimes you use bypass here. In the Pro Tools bypass, and it may be different in different doors, but you do start to get some issues. So I'm just going to try and sort of mix it in a bit and see how it sounds with and without. So I've got it in stereo.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare. They knew it might happen. It's what they all fear. I thought no one noticed. I thought no one cared.
Just turn that off.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare.
Turn it up again.
They knew it might happen. It's what they all fear. I thought no one noticed. I thought no one cared. They told me don't worry, don't pull out my hair.
I'm going to push the gain up a bit now, then pull it back at the output stage. I'm going to just pull that down for a second.
So to keep their head down,
We'll drive those circuits.
stop, chat or stare. They knew it might happen.
Hear the drive going on now, so we'll pull that back a bit more here.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare.
Might be really nice on a rock track or something like that, where you really want to just push some stuff in.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare. They knew it might happen. It's what they all fear. I thought no one noticed. I thought no one cared. They told me don't worry.
No, I like that. If you listen to it, actually put a pair of headphones on, it really starts to open up at the top end, and you get a real nice stereo. It enhances the stereo image, and of course you could also try the MS processing and see how that works.
So to keep their head down, not stop.
And of course you could try mono.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat
There's
or
the mid.
stare.
There's the sides.
I thought no one noticed. I thought no one cared. They told me don't worry, don't pull out my hair. I know these things happen. The great unknown fear caused by a corporate shakedown. So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare.
It's really, really helping the top end, and actually just moulding the bottom end in a bit as well there.
So to keep their head down, not stop, chat or stare. They knew it might happen.
So of course it might be a nice addition for those mastering engineers that like using plugins, and it might be worth you trying this and downloading it and see if it helps you with your mastering as well. So there we go. That's the Waves REDD consoles, two, the Abbey Road one and the one that Lenny Kravitz now owns, and I think they're excellent. I've done a recent article about, do they sound exactly like the real things? Well, I'm sure Waves have worked very hard to make them sound as close to the real things. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? If it works for you and it sounds good, then who cares, as I said in my article. I've been privileged enough to hear the real console and see it and touch it, but many of you won't get that, and this might be the closest thing you'll ever get, and if that's the case, then enjoy it. Try the download, test it out, but a big thumbs up to Waves because I think they've done a great job. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.